We're learning more about how the terror attack suspects were caught. Investigators have been working the case for about a year, according to reports, and as CBS 2's Marcia Kramer reports now, she's got that part of the story. Marcia?
Well, Chris, in the end, the thing that might have done these Islamic radicals in was vanity. Either that or a desire to record their militant activities. Either way, the FBI got its first whiff of the plot when it got a call from a video store about a very disturbing DVD they were asked to copy. It is clear from the indictment that the 6 men being charged today took their inspiration from Usama bin Laden and the 9/11 hijackers. But what alerted the FBI to their activities was a DVD that they wanted copied. According to the indictment, the DVD depicted 10 men who appeared to be in their early 20s shooting assault weapons at a firing range in a militia-like style while calling out Jihad and shouting in Arabic, Allah Akbar, God is great. The DVD store copying the video for the 4-6 plotters immediately notified the FBI, and the investigation began. The FBI reportedly learned the men also practiced shooting at paintball ranges in the Poconos. The paintball range skirmish in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania was one of those questioned by agents.
They came in here within the last 6 months, and they asked if we could search our database, and they had some names that they wanted us to search our database for.
Another thing that reportedly disturbed investigators was information found stored on one of the alleged 4-6 plotters' laptop computers. It had what appeared to be the last will and testament of at least 2 of the 9/11 hijackers. Another file contained images of Usama bin Laden and other Islamic extremists making speeches and asking viewers to join their jihadist movement. And yet another thing that alarmed investigators was when one of the defendants told the undercover informant that they would need to receive a special permission, something called a fatwa, in order to attack. Now, just to put this in perspective, Osama bin Laden got a fatwa in order to attack the United States. Chris?
All right, Marcia, thank you. Joining me now is terrorism expert Bob Strang, who's CEO of Investigative Management Group. And getting back to what Marcia was just saying, how big a factor is a shopkeeper, like we mentioned earlier, being vigilant, seeing a videotape like this, and then alerting authorities, which essentially put them onto the trail of these guys?
Well, there's a finite number of police officers, so every case that we've made in the United States is really developed from ordinary citizens, people who take subways, people who travel over bridges, people who see things unusual. So it's very important that people provide us with that information. Now, once we get it, we get informants in, we get wiretaps, we do surveillance, and we're able to make the case. In this case, it took almost 18 months to make, but the initial tip came from somebody who was a simple storekeeper.
You've got guys that you've been surveilling for 18 months like that. When is the time where you say, okay, now's the time we move in? When do you decide? Is it when an attack is imminent? Because some reports say attack necessarily wasn't imminent.
Well, you know what? I worked undercover for a long time, and one of the most difficult decisions for us to make was, when do we stop it before it hurts somebody else? And that's the real key. You know, you can take it so far, but God forbid you have an undercover, a special agent involved, and something happens. Then it obviously isn't good. So you take it as far as you can without anybody getting hurt.
Yeah, these guys were living here in the States for a number of years and are probably more homegrown.
Right. Well, Tony Snow certainly knows what he's talking about. But, Chris, if we look at the attacks that have taken place throughout Europe, if we look at the train attacks and everything else that had taken place in the last 4 years, every single one of those cases have been made by followers of Al-Qaeda, followers of bin Laden. Exactly what we see here in New Jersey today. These are people who want to be. They're extremists who become radicalized, and this is our biggest fear. These are the kind of cells all around this country that we have to worry about. I hope this isn't the beginning of something that we're going to see more of.
Let me ask you this. 6 suspects in custody right now. There are reports that there could be as many as 10, maybe more. Are we expecting more arrests in this specific case?
As we speak, the agents are executing search warrants. They're taking hard drives, cell phone information, plans. No question, this is an ongoing investigation. There may be more arrests.
Bob Strang, thank you very much.
My pleasure, Chris.